So the insane day is in the books. Hello. Today was exhausting after 2 exhausting days. Started at 8 a.m. at Hooters, which is not a sentence you hear often. Interviewed Neil Kiefer and the CEO of Hooters, along with Mike Harding, who started Three Daughters. A couple folks from USF were there, Frank Biafora, talking about this hospitality training program. That's my first time hanging out with Neil. I've spoken to Mike a lot and interviewed him. He was on SPX. Speaking of SPX, Marcin Klasinski, SPX, is out, episode 52. He was the founder of Malwarebytes, and interesting how that whole company started. Tidbits, he's got people in the company that he's never met that are all have been online only relationships since day one. In fact, he didn't even meet his co-founder until about a year and a half, and a couple $100,000 worth of sales into the company. So it's a hybrid origin story, SPX, but it's at stpx.com if you're into Malwarebytes and tech founder stories. So yeah, the Neil Kiefer interview, then back to the studio for Rosie Rosenthiel, who was our keynote speaker today at Tiger Bay. He's kind of the senior consultant, senior guy working on the national popular vote. They've got 196 states, 196 electoral votes worth of states who have agreed that if they get to 270 electoral states worth of votes, that they'll swap over and cast their electoral votes for whomever wins the national popular vote. And I was tired and I didn't ask the best questions, but I got educated pretty well. The kind of standard thinking is that Clinton lost, won the popular vote and lost the electoral college, and that would have changed. But the reality is that states only campaign in the swing states, and so a national vote would completely change how elections are run. And you can't say that Gore and Clinton would have won, or they, as it sits now, they won the national vote, but if you run a completely different campaign, because you think about going to the national popular vote, a state like California, who more often than not goes to Democrats, that's 50 some electoral votes, it may actually be a 60-40 state. So the power of those those votes. And then the other thing that he pointed out with that was a little bit of a deeper concept with the national popular vote is that the electoral college is awarded according to the House of Representatives, and House of Representatives are based off the census, and the census includes both citizens and non-citizens. So, say like California has a lot of non-citizens, and doesn't mean they could be legal non-citizens, but they're counted towards representation, but they can't vote. So in a way, they are getting representation from a number of electoral vote standpoint. But if you go to the national popular vote, then that kind of goes away. So he reckons that if you count, all the people who are not citizens who get counted in the census and therefore lead to additional electoral votes for certain areas, that he thinks the Democrats have a 10 electoral vote net positive result from that. Obviously, Texas might give the Republican more electoral votes there, but all in all, back and forth, he thinks it's a net 10 positive electoral vote swing for the Democrats, and going to national popular vote would take that away. But it was an interesting point, which is fascinating, the different layers of those politics. And he went on to speak at Tiger Bay. I had to miss that Tiger Bay because we were double booked, and I had to go to the Vinoy Business Alliance for Jane Castor's talk. Great crowd. I think it's the biggest crowd I've seen there. I will call that the Catalyst Bump. Right, Mike McNally? You're welcome. Mike's a great guy, and he runs that. We're going to have him in for an influencer soon. So had Jane Castor, then had to get back for two folks who were coming in to talk about their Sunny Side Up appearance, which is next Wednesday at 7 or 7:30 in the morning. It's at Kate Tiedemann School of Business, I believe, put on by the Kate Tiedemann School of Business Downtown Partnership. And so it was Candy from JBill and Tara from FIS talking about data. And we had an interesting conversation, got into, where data is going, leading into AI, predictive stuff, and so on and so forth. So that'll be out in a day or two. But that was, fourth media item of the day for me. And then we're hitting about 2:00. Then I had one of our St. Pete Press authors in, George Fleming. George, he put our second book out, second St. Petersburg Press, second book is Bad Habits by George Fleming. It's our first novel. So we came in to talk about some marketing and some events and things that we're going to help him with. And then that's Stacy Waden, who is building an interesting business. She's trying to work on sort of a speakers bureau or a speaker matching service to increase diversity. A lot of the events that we have and panels that we have lack in diversity, either from gender or race or whatever. And she wants to improve that by building a platform that has events listed that need speakers and speakers who want to speak at events. So that was pretty cool. But that finished off the day. Got to spend some time with Irv talking about our seed funders meeting and that strategy going forward. And I didn't get much else done other than that. So that's that. Tomorrow's a good day. I'll report back, and I'll try to waste time talking in advance about stuff. But that's what happened today. No nuggets of wisdom other than drink a lot of water. So I will catch up with you tomorrow.